Hi everybody, welcome to this video here on Marvel Avengers Alliance. Wow, happy face ISOs. More on that in a moment. Today's background soundtrack is brought to you by Best Dubstep Mix 2016. Now, I want to remind you guys, sometimes the music I pick isn't music I actively listen to. I just kind of search around for YouTube for stuff that isn't copyrighted. And this is something that I came across, and I was kind of looking for something upbeat for today's episode because, holy shit, what we've got going on in the game today is knuckin' futz. First thing I'm going to do before we deal with the ISOs is I'm going to take you into this current mission that I'm playing. And I want you guys to see something, because this is the Loch Ness Monster. This is something that we thought might be out there, and a lot of people came out and said no, it's not, and it never will be. And we were all like, but there's this thing that I see in the morning sometimes, and no, it's not the Loch Ness Monster, it's not the Loch Ness Monster. But there's a hump in the water in the fog. No, it's not the Loch Ness Monster. Well, yeah, guess what? It's the Loch Ness Monster. And I can't wait to show you guys this, because this is crazy. This is something that we've not only just given up on a personal level, but we were told to give up on this. We had scientists tell us simply that the Loch Ness Monster doesn't exist and stop thinking about it. And suddenly, to quote the M&M's episode that occurs around Christmas with the M&M's and Santa, it does exist. Actually, they say they do exist, but you notice my agent's got an infiltrator suit on over there, and it looks a little weird. May not have actually seen it before. First of all, I want to see, you'll see in this video that Faiza can actually enable Songbird to do some pretty decent damage, which makes me think some good synergy with Songbird would be Satana at some point, considering they both do like attrition. But guys, it's coming. Just wait a few. Well, yeah, look at that damage. That's pretty good for Songbird, but yeah. Here it is, folks. It's the fucking flight suit. Are you kidding? It's the flight suit, and it works. Unbelievable. So, we were watching the From the Hellcarrier cast today, and Agent Aranos is like, the flight suit, the flight suit, the flight suit. And a couple of people were like, oh yeah, wow, huh. And at first I thought, yeah, they're just, he's trolling us. And we started off, look at that damage from Songbird, by the way. I thought, oh, you know, hi, he's trolling us, and blah, blah, blah. And I go in there, and they're like, look at the research tab. And I go in there, and I'm like, it says I have no research in the game. So whatever, he's trolling. But then I actually looked further. They're there, but they're locked. So if you go over to uniforms, here it is, guys. They're all here. I don't know if this means that they're going to be future PvP rewards, and we have to have the blueprints unlocked the way we did for the Infiltrator one. But essentially that means that this season that we got the Infiltrator suit is now doubly stronger than any other season before it, because we got the suit, and then when the suit was messed up, we were given the PvP Infiltrator ISO. Now that the suit is working, this is essentially on par almost with the Angel season where everybody got all the rewards. But let's take a look at them over here. The Generalist heals allies when entering mech mode and applies morale boost. The Scrapper suit doesn't mention anything on this one. Okay, so we don't have a passive on this one. By the way, they're all double ISOs. The Generalist is a flat set of 3 bars. The Scrapper is going to be tilted towards attack and accuracy. And using the PKB method, you'd probably bring that one towards defense and leave evasion low. Bruiser suit, very high health, very high stamina for suits as, you know, they go. High defense, decent attack and accuracy, very low evasion. Again, no passive mentioned. Blaster, very high attack and accuracy, similar to the Scrapper, but very poor defense and high evasion. And again, no passive listed. And for the Tactician suit, high defense and accuracy, and then balanced everywhere else. Again, no passive listed. So right now, only the Generalist one is listing a passive. But let's actually go back in and see what the Infiltrator suit does when you switch into it. I can't really tell if Songbird is fixed with her damage, or if she's just getting that much of a boost from my Neurotrope and Faiza. I'm going to say that it's probably the boost from Faiza and the Neurotrope. However, you know, that's some pretty decent crit work over there. In Wave 2 in a different fight, well, look at this. Look at Songbird's damage. She's not buffed, and she just took out a wave herself, so I think they fixed Songbird. She exploited a delirium, and she exploited some, she also exploited some attrition here with the internal bleeding. She gets everything in her face. She's gonna get the Infiltrator in her face after this. I kind of feel like they fixed Songbird here. I really do. I could use triage, but I'm gonna do this for now. Songbird might be hitting a little bit of a power spike here. Alright, so I'm gonna use the Neurotrope. Now I'll switch into the suit, and then I will break down the functions. By the way, that little icon there when you switch reminds me of like Samus. So level 1. Power drains at 10%. It's ranged, energy, and tech. Somebody's rattled, somebody is exhausted, and they're flustered and perplexed. Shit! That just shuts down Faiza right there. Wow. That's a really nice shutdown against Faiza on the opposing team. If she can't buff. If you can scroll of Angalob off a Mystic or an Essence and then get that on her, you can lock Faiza out of an entire fight and make her a non-issue with that. Pop Smoke, very similar to one of Punisher's abilities. I think it's in his Infiltrator kit. It power drains at 20. All allies get Retaliation, which is like the Stalker, and Hidden in Smoke. Here's the AoE, which drains at 40%. All enemies get Disabled, Disadvantage, Blindsided, and Distraction. And then here is Property Damage, which is a Boom Buster. Again, that's very anti-Faiza right there. Except for when she does the you can't be exploited. Exploits protection and exploits shields. Interrupt. What? I countered a pre-counter? What the shiznit was that? Countermeasure. Chance to interrupt enemy counterattacks and follow-up attacks. Chance to enter ghost mode, hard shell. Jesus Christ, these suits are amazing. Okay, I'll take the extra turn. This actually, right here on the field right now, could potentially be a very viable team up in PV. I got an extra turn. Are you kidding me? Amazing. See, there goes Songbird's damage. I'm telling you, I really do think they fixed her. I don't think it's just because of Faiza and the Neurotrope. I think they tweaked her a bit. So, we'll now jump over to the new ISOs that are on sale after this battle wraps up over here. There was only one stack of Lead by Light. Very powerful suit. And that's just the Infiltrator version, which are usually not some of the more powerful ones out there. I'm going to pull Angel off. Or, not Angel, and Anti-Venom, because he's got a deploy to worry about. Put Mordo there. Alright, let's go into the store and look at the ISOs now. I've only looked at these briefly. I know some of them, like the first page. And, I mean, I just basically left from the Hellcarrier cast. I was like, I gotta do a video on this, because this is crazy. So, if you look here under just Empowered, Complex Maneuver has a sale. And some of the other new ones have a sale, but there's nothing new over here. These are ones from the last increase of the ISO population. So, if you've been waiting for another intangible, which is not such a bad idea, now's a good time to get it. Come on. You want to do it. You want to do it. That was weird. That reset everything. God, I hope it didn't buy like 52 of these or something in that lag. Okay, bought 2. Inceptive Warding, no. Survival Training, that one's not too bad for that. There's your Back from War down at 15. Protect, okay. Calculated Force is a big one, which is why it's still expensive. But hey, Risen Force down at 5 is really good. Grit down at 5 is really good. Desperation, eh. I don't see Stalwart Force too often, but it shows up occasionally. What's another good price over here? That's kind of about it. So now let's jump into the new ones. Oh, actually, wow, we got a sale going on over here. If you don't have a lot of snappy services, now's not a bad time to get it. Collateral for your blasters is pretty good. Unavoidable is the really big one. This is the anti-intangible one. You really want to get some of these. It helps to have at least, I'd say, about 2 of them. And if they're going to be down for 5, that's really good. But here we go. So after the Hardened, now is the new stuff. Scrapper's Playbook. Starts combat with Scrappy Sentiment. Gains Scrappy Sentiment when an enemy is knocked out. It's for a Generalist. So my guess is that single target attacks will get a follow-up. And that's on a... Wow, that's going to be good for Faiza. Holy shit, that's going to stack her to 2 stacks immediately. Yeah, that's going to be really good for Faiza. Mystic Defense. Single target attacks now gain power draining shield. Takes reduced damage when the shield is up. Chance to summon Elite Eye Bites when attacking applies doom. Oh, man. Wow. Not just an Eye Bite, an Elite Eye Bite. That's going to be... I would think that's going to be kind of big on the Spitlord teams that use blasters. Tactician's Battle Plan. Start combat with Tactical Tendency. Gains Tactical Tendency when it... That's another really good one with Faiza. Single target attacks. If that gives her an extra turn, she could do a Lead by Light and then a Triage. Or a Lead by Light and then a Hippocratic Oath. That's good because this means that Faiza's in your hand in PvP now have an advantage over the defensive Faizas. If you could get their shrouds down, you now have the advantage rather than it being on an even field. That's really nice. Lethal comeback. Counterattacks applied near fatal. I don't know about that one too much. Interesting, but I don't think that one's quite as strong as some of the others. Tough enough. Takes reduced damage from enemy attacks. Prevents damage from attacks at exploit status. So right now, I think we're building towards a really good Spitlord team with this on like a 3-suit blaster. Dim Reflection. Dim Patient. Starts combat with mirror images. Takes reduced damage from counter... Wow, that's 2 of them in 1. Yep, that's a purchase right there. That's 2 of the infiltrators combined into 1. That's Ukemi and mirror images. And of course it resets again. That's crazy. That's a very, very good infiltrator ISO. Insult to injury empowered ISO 8. Follow-up attacks apply reduced potential. Removes and prevents lockout effects. Wow. Not that great for a Spitfire because a lot of times Spitfire is going to be going up against a warding essence in round 1. I would still stick with like power ISOs there. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily jump on that for a Spitfire train because you want to try to power somebody down in round 1 and that's not going to help. Heavy Bulwark applies pressure points to enemies who attack with a melee attack. Single target attacks. It's like a weird version of Groot. Very, very, yeah, that's like, that would be good with like Havoc or any of the other really good pressure pointers and maybe a dedicated tanking agent. Countermeasure empowered ISO 8 takes reduced damage from single target and area attacks. Chance to interrupt and preemptively counter single target. Oh my god. Wow. Again, this one, much like the other one in reference to Faiza, this one could mean your cloak and dagger is better than the enemy cloak and dagger. Because if your cloak and dagger can prevent the enemy cloak and dagger's counters, this is really strong too. I like that one. Chance to resist stun. Melee attacks have a higher chance to critically hit. It's good this one's cheap. I don't like this one that much. Starts combat with Infiltration Impulse. Gains Infiltration Impulse. So it's another one for the Generalist and makes him a general trader. I think I like the other ones better so far for the Generalist, but this isn't half bad. Again, another really good one with Faiza for stack. This one's good for defensive Faizas. If you run Morale Boost and this on Faiza, that means attacking the enemy... Alright, here's the way it goes with Faiza on defense. Every time I see her, she just does the support stuff. The triages, the level 9, and occasionally the level 2, the Hippocratic Oath, but she never attacks. Attacking on Faiza is beautiful because of what it does to your team. If you can make a defensive Faiza get some level 1s in there somehow, it makes it that much better. And this could be a way of doing it. Master Blaster. Range attacks increase attack and defense. Stack to 10. Oh my god. That's kind of like the Scrapper ISOs. That's a lot like the PvP Scrapper ISO and the Melee one. And we finally get that now for Blasters. Imagine an agent, a blaster agent running this and like the Wub Wub cannon. That one's really good too. Destructive means single target, have a chance to splash, has a chance to make your next action unable to be interrupted. That's definitely a really nice upgrade from collateral damage. I wouldn't say this one's quite as good with the Spitlord teams, but it's solid for it. Fleet Feet, chance to gain an extra turn when attacked, chance for a follow-up attack. Oh my god. Oh man, that's so much better than Big and Fast. That's a purchase. That's a Big and Fast replacement right there. Holy mother of God. PvP Season 32 is going to be the biggest mindfuck you've ever seen. Holy shit. Starts combat with Sacred. There it is. That's the one JW's been talking about. Single target attacks gain determination. That's also good. So now, if you don't have Sacred like I don't have Sacred, your Lantern becomes a quick action again. Deadly Desperation. All single attacks gain Desperation and all-out attacks. Starts combat with Back for More, but just for infiltrators. Could be really good on Cloak and Daggers. Blaster Stratagem. Starts combat with Blast Bias. So this is a Generalist one. Blast Bias, I'm not too sure I'm going to get. I'm going to guess that it's a higher chance to critically hit. I like the other Generalist ones better. Master Fighter. Yeah, I've heard about this one. Melee attacks, increase attack and defense stacks. This could be a really good Spitfire one. This is going to have to probably require its own video testing in the simulators compared to the other Spitfire ones. That one's, I like that one. I was thinking if I have to whip Angel back out because of Faiza and everything, this might be good for him because my Angel's a scrapper. Or Archangel. Non-stop. Starts combat with Recuperation. Gains Recuperation. Single target. Restores health every turn? That could kind of be ridiculous in a toxic suit. Close Quarters. Gains Rising Up when attacked by an enemy. Single target attacks gain Finest Hour. Oh man. That's another really good Spitfire one. Because if you do that one with the Risen Force, which is the single target attacks apply Rising Up. Nuts. Yeah, this is a good one for like Spitfire. Probably also would be a good one for Scrapper Deadpool. God, imagine he buffs himself up all along the way and then hits a 9 after a bunch of these. Bag of Tricks. Buff abilities restore some health. Gains grit when attacking or is attacked, so it's like Cammy. That's going to show up on some tacticians, especially any of the double or triple tactician suits, I bet. I'm trying to think who would be some good... Oh man, Red Hulk. Red Hulk's Bulwark is a buff. That's gonna be very good on some Red Hulks, I bet. Wouldn't be too bad on Songbird if you ran that with a Snappy Service and made her shield a quick action. Starts combat with Bruise Benefit, gains Bruise Benefit. Again, still liking the other Generalist ones a little bit better. Flow Like Water. Chance to gain Exalted when attacked, uninterruptible. So that's good against, like, Hammer Pistol agents. And chance to gain Exalted when attacked. So does that mean if I remember correctly, Exalted is when you're above 90% health, your dots fall off. That's neat. Shadow Walker. All attacks are now magical and apply Bane. Applies Dark Forces to enemies who attack with melee attack. That's good for Cloak and Daggers, because now they don't have to worry about intangibles. It's a very good Cloak and Dagger ISO, I think. Crowd Control. Ranged attacks have a higher chance to critically hit. All attack... Oh, it's kind of like a Skull Thumper, with like a blaster wrapped into it. Big Boss. Attacking with exhausted options does extra damage. We have that. Buff actions that are not quick actions may be... That's an upgraded snappy service. This one's really good. This essentially is a grand replacement of snappy service. Yeah. I want to get one of those. Damn, son. Where'd you find that one? Holy shit. Amazing ISOs. I think that's the last of the new ones. Bag of tricks, full like water. This should be the last page, I believe, down here. Plan B, recharge, restores some health, and adds a shield that absorbs. Oh, where is that one? Where is that bruiser one? Yup. There it is. Okay, good. Solid defense. Starts combat with a shield, attacks, and recharge, reapplies the patchwork shield that regenerates. Yeah, this is a replacement for Savant. This is an upgrade to Savant. Attacks and recharge, reapplies the patchwork shield that regenerates health and stamina. Could be good for, like, Pesty. Bloodsport. Bleeding increases damage dealt, takes reduced damage from bleeding. Single target attacks apply open wound. I believe this means if the scrapper itself is bleeding, kind of like Nico. It could be good for a Spitfire, but again, this is a second round Spitfire that we're talking about here, and with the warding essence up and all, open wound's not going to help. This is... I'm not that fond of this one. This one right here is the game changer for bruisers. Look at this. Rapid recovery. Removes one debuff every turn. Recharge restores some health and removes all debuffs. You know what this means? This means that if you run this on a bruiser and you run into the drain meta, you will screw the drain meta over so bad. Because if you get forced into recharging, you're going to wipe out all your debuffs and you're going to restore health. This, I was so happy when I saw this because this punishes the drain meta. And this is really, really good to run for a bruiser on defense, because if people are still going to try to run the drain meta on offense, this absolutely is a giant middle finger to that. It's like, okay, you want to drain me to the point I recharge? Look at what's going to happen now. I love this. Finally, we actually get a counter to that drain meta. And now here's the old stuff that's on sale again. Character ones are on sale. I don't think I'm seeing any new ones here. Yeah, no new ones over there. Let's look at augmented. Nothing on sale. Probably not because of the happy faces where all the E-ISOs. Alright. Yeah, going over some ones that I would highly, highly suggest as a bit of a wrap-up over here. I would think that for the Generalist ones, the Scrappy was one of the best ones, and specifically for Faiza, I think this is phenomenal. One attack gives you 2 immediate lead by lights, and then you could just go pure defensive on Faiza at that point. Mystic is going to probably be pretty good for agents that run Spitlord teams, especially if they don't try to run an Essence. This may help them live a little bit longer. Tactician Battle Plans, I think, is very good also for Faiza, because you could do one attack and then something else. Like one attack and then an Oath, or one attack and then Triage, and then like one attack and Oath after that. Oath would be a single target attack, but she's locked out, so... not too sure about that one. Tough Enough could be pretty good for squishy blasters when you're doing Spitlord teams. This Dim Reflection, I think, is very good Follow-up attack supply reduced potential. Again, I like this one, but not for Spitfires, because you won't be able to apply those debuffs very often in round 1. This Bruiser one's probably going to be pretty solid if you team them up right. This one, this countermeasure one, I think is very good. I mean, it wraps up 2 Infiltrator ISOs into one. Infiltrator, Reefing, another good Generalist one, and I think potentially very good for Faiza. It's cheap, may as well get one. I mean, some of these could clearly bring back the Generalist suits. I mean, if you want to talk about an anti-drain meta, you can run the Generalist suit that recharge, or the free action restores stamina. And then any of these new Generalist ISOs would be really good with that. Master Blaster, I think, is phenomenal. And I could imagine some Spit Lords running this on their Star Lord. Yeah, because it says ranged. So, that means if you run like the original Star Lord and run 2 ISOs, you can run Hair Trigger and Master Blaster. Oh my god. No, you can't run Master Blaster because the original is an Infiltrator. Never mind. For a moment there, it was almost pretty. Destructive Means is a good upgrade to Collateral. Yeah, there's so many good ISOs over here. Hopefully we'll get a gold sale by the end of the week, because I'm sure we're going to need it. So there you go, guys. There is a video on all the cool and amazing new stuff that we have in the game. The flight suits are working, and I'm sure relatively shortly we'll get some information on what's going on with the future flight suits over there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have an awesome day.